So this all started with someone called Pam. She realised there wasn't any adult provision in the area. So with her drive and ambition and passion, we set up Cascade. In a nutshell, we're supporting people living with autism, living with mental health conditions or living with a learning difficulty in a really safe environment to be the best that they can possibly be. Our primary objective is to engage and empower people with the adaptive skills they need to help them towards independent living. Having a vision is incredibly important, not only to Cascade but to the people that work with us and the people that live with us, and everybody needs to understand that vision. We want safe, appropriate, high quality care for all the people that live with us. We want health, education and community involvement and a first-class living environment just like you would want at home. We want to ensure the principles of rights and make sure that people are independent and have the choice and inclusion that they're entitled to. And above all, we want to be the national benchmark in care, creative and forward thinking. Well, we have to be safe. Everybody needs to feel safe, otherwise they can't progress with their lives. So our environment needs to make people feel safe. We do that using health, so make sure that they feel really healthy and that all their health needs are being met. We also allude to education in an immense way. We also make sure that we're involved in the community to a great extent because we need the support of the community and we need these people to be able to develop in the community. The rights of the people that we live with are incredibly important. Obviously, people talk about person-centred care a lot, but choices is key, and the rights of these people are key as well. Cascade wants to be the national benchmark for care. We feel that we're really forward-thinking with a lot of the stuff that we're doing, and with the people that we're working with, because they help us to develop the ideas as well. What we're trying to do with our values is mirror the Care Act and the fundamental standards set out by CQC. Within those values, what we are trying to do is obviously individualise care as much as we possibly can. The STAR is a tool that Cascade have invested in across all the homes, and it's a key worker tool. So the key worker will sit down with the person that they're working with and look at progression. So they'll look at where the person is now and then how they might move forward. In 3 months' time, we'll look at that progress again, and it's really helpful for motivation. What we're trying to do is help the people that live with us develop their adaptive skills, because without adaptive skills we can't progress again. This picture here is a really good example of an adaptive skill, which is cooking. So you and I might take it for granted that we can use the cooker properly and that we can cook for ourselves, but a lot of these people might not be able to do that. So what we would do is really support them to do that in a fun way as well. So without the fun, then they're not going to want to revisit that adaptive skill. And also people might take a really long time to learn these skills because they lack confidence and because they've never done it before. So what we would do is make sure that they can achieve that goal. That might then relate back to the STAR, and then what might happen is they might one day be able to cook a meal for other people as well, or share a meal together, and that's a really fantastic progression. Well, encouraging ambition is everything, we believe, because without ambition, how can we motivate people? So people have often lost their ambition for various reasons throughout their lives, and our key role is to try and re-find that ambition. So what we might do is observe people really carefully and work with them really closely. And there might be a little trigger, they might mention something about something they've enjoyed or something they enjoyed in the past. So we could say something like, well, maybe what about imagining that you might go on a little holiday? Where's the sort of place you might like to go? If we've got something that they really want to do, we can then encourage them to save. We could encourage them to think about the sorts of meals they might cook when they get there, and we can use that as an entire pattern for developing some ambition towards a goal. So life is challenging, as you know, we all find it challenging sometimes, but if you live with a learning difficulty or a mental health condition or with autism, you can find it especially challenging. So the key thing is we need to find tools to help people overcome these challenges. The challenges might be practical things, such as being able to dress themselves in the morning properly. So we would help them in a practical way and support them with that. And what we'll do is just practice it until the person feels confident with that. Another challenge might be a mental health challenge or an emotional challenge. So somebody might find it really difficult to go to the shops because they feel very anxious about that. We often use social stories to help people to overcome these anxieties, which work really well. We use PECs and we use lots of different communication tools. And what we do is never rush anybody. So what we would do is help somebody take a very small step towards overcoming their challenge. We have one person that lives with us who's very enthusiastic about getting to the shops. So what happens is, in the past he would run very quickly, and this caused a safety challenge for him. But we didn't want to limit the fact that he really loved going to the shops. So what we did is we put together a social story about not running, about staying with the worker he was working with, making sure we were safe when we crossed the road, and we used the social story every day to help him to understand that and to remember it. And now he never runs to the shops. It's really important to us at Cascade to create a family feel. I talked earlier about feeling safe. We can't achieve anything if we don't feel safe, and part of feeling safe is feeling nurtured and cared for, and really believing that the person that's working with you genuinely cares about how you feel. So in order to create that, we select our staff very carefully. We have great induction processes, but we select staff who are really passionate about what they do. Cascade have a unique structure for a care home, so they have group managers. We have a group manager for compliance, for community liaison, for physical health and well-being, for education, and we also have a group manager for operations and nursing. These people are directly on hand to all our staff and all our residents on a daily basis to be able to provide specialist support. So as you know, real life doesn't just happen within your own four walls at home. We know that we have to reach out into the community for the people that live with us. We know that we need to help them to explore the community and find out all the exciting opportunities that are out there. Now that might be to do with education. It might be to do with volunteering, it might be to do with going and helping at the cattery, it might be to do with a fun holiday, it might be to do with eventually a work placement and helping that person to become even more independent. We have one of the people that lives with us at the moment who's really interested in hairdressing, and she's always wanted to be a hairdresser, but because of her learning difficulty, she's been challenged to do that in the past. So what we've done is we've created a really good link with the hairdressers in the community, and she now does a volunteering placement 1 day a week, and she absolutely loves it. Well, we like to think that we're leading from the front in social care, so we're constantly looking at the new ideas that are coming out. We're constantly keeping up to date with everything that's out there, but not only that, is our group roles are getting together and doing lots of creative thinking to try and think how we can challenge the way that social care has been in the past, because we do believe that social care will change over the next few years dramatically, and that will really benefit the people that we're working with. In particular, we look at how we can train our staff to be the best that they can be. We expect them to be trained to a much higher standard, and we put a lot of emphasis on that. So the people that live with us know that we're delivering our promises because they experience it every day. The families have got many a testimonial as evidence, and they would be happy to talk to you about delivering promises. We have often rebuilt families after their family relationships have broken down. So that's really key to us, because we think that the people that are living with us especially need their family to support them. So through the challenges, that family relationship might have broken down, and we have promised to get them back on track. The professionals know that we deliver our promises. So we will walk into meetings, into panel meetings, we will show them the star, we will show how that person has progressed, and that will be evidenced and detailed evidence. And the person themselves will talk to their social worker, will talk to the professional, will talk to their occupational health person about how they're progressing. At Cascade, we believe that we need to take positive risks, because if you don't take positive risks, how can you progress? So what we try to do is set up an environment in which somebody feels really safe to take that risk. We would do all the regular risk assessments and make sure they're really robust. But what we're doing is maybe challenging people a little bit, maybe pushing them slightly out of their comfort zone, only if they want to do that, but just saying, you know, you can have a go at this. So a good example might be that somebody really wants to go to a football match but has never been on the Rhön but would really like to go on the Rhön and experience that. So what we would do is over a long period of time, fully risk assessed and feeling safe, we'd help them to achieve that. And actually this person does now go to the football on his own. There is an element being never afraid to try, because of course if you try things all the time, you're bound to fail sometimes, but that's okay too. So I think that what we try to do at Cascade is say, do you know what, you could have a go and today it might not work out, but tomorrow it might work really well. So we have some people that are reluctant to go swimming for all sorts of reasons. One of the people who was reluctant to go swimming actually has epilepsy, and he was really concerned about swimming because in the past he's been told he should never get in the pool because he's got epilepsy. So what we did is he really wanted to try swimming, and we made sure that everything was in place. So we engaged the community, we engaged the lifeguard at the local swimming centre, and what we did is we just got him to sit on the edge of the pool with his legs in the water for a few weeks, watching the other people swim, and he just enjoyed that experience. By the end of the process and the transition into him being never afraid to try, he did actually get in the pool and have a little swim. So, collection of friends, it might sound a bit naff, but the reality is that the people that we're working with we can really identify with. So when we interview someone, we will not give them the job unless we've got that connection. And they might not be a friend at that point in time, but what happens is you can see something in that person that makes you believe that you can work with them because you are all singing from the same song sheet. So we work with people, we don't work with clients. Primarily it's about the person, and as you know, regardless of what difficulty you're living with, whether it's autism or mental health conditions or learning difficulties, they're just people and it's all about the person. At Cascade, we believe it's not enough for people just to exist and be cared for on a practical basis. We want people to really live because you're living and you're experiencing all these amazing things. That's exactly what we want for the people that live with us. We don't want them just to exist, we want them to live. So our customers are adults, but they've all got a wide range of developmental difficulties or disorders. They come from a variety of backgrounds. All our facilities are age appropriate. And what we mean by that is that if you are a 20-year-old young man suffering with ADHD, you will be placed in a home that is totally appropriate to the sort of environment that you're going to thrive in. Because what we want to say is that when somebody comes to live with us, they're going to live with us forever. And we are going to look after them and support them forever. When we're looking for somewhere to set up a home, we're looking for somewhere in the heart of the community. We're looking for ordinary streets with extraordinary facilities. Our facilities all have exacting standards. The living space is cutting edge. We're looking for all sorts of technology and all sorts of creative ideas to make our living spaces really flexible for the people that live with us. We're looking for different lifestyles within the home and almost different spaces within the home as well. So it might be that you might want a really, really quiet space at some point during the day, and then you might want a very, very fulfilling and activating and stimulating environment at another point during the day. So our homes are really flexible and they give you spaces in which to be able to do all your adaptive skills. We're using the technology at the moment to maybe think of skills that you might not have ever thought of doing, to really broaden your horizons and to think of new and creative ways to spend your days. So compliance, it's a really dry subject, but it's one of the most important things and we take it really seriously. We have a group compliance manager who monitors quality all the time. We have internal inspections, like mock CQC inspections, and the managers have to action points and report back to the compliance manager. Everything that goes through the entire company has to get past the compliance manager. This is the only way that we can secure that our facility is doing the best for the people that live with us. As well as our internal compliance systems, we also have an external compliance system called QCS. So if there are any changes with care standards or from CQC, we're absolutely up to the date. We even have staff with apps on their phone following the new policies and procedures that have come out. So the quality development officers in our areas that we work in are always really eager to come in because we're very proactive in asking them to give us help with the things that we're struggling with. What we do is share best practice, so nobody knows all the answers. This is a challenging field to work in. So what we do is have quarterly group meetings where we all share the ideas and experiences and challenges that we've had. And if somebody's got a really good idea, we'll make sure that that goes across all the homes so that the people that live with us can really benefit from that. So finally, the people that use our service have got to be involved in the quality monitoring. So we will consistently ask the people that live with us, are we doing a good job? Are you happy? Do you feel safe? And we will ask them these questions in small group meetings. We might give them questionnaires that they'll be supported to fill in. The feedback that we get from those is crucial because that helps us to change and develop the way in which we work with people. So ASDAN provides opportunities for the people that live with us. These are not only educational, but they're involved in using all the adaptive skills that we're interested. So what happens is people might need an adaptive skill, a really tiny thing like making a bed, but the ASDAN programme will not only support them with that, but then at the end of the day they'll pass and get a certificate for that. So what we do is we are celebrating success. We have presentation days. These are the sorts of people that may never have got a certificate or may never have got an educational achievement. The ASDAN programme is at all different levels, so we could go right from the bottom right to the top, so that people can start at a very low level and start achieving. Each study unit has got a set of challenges, and it might be something like managing your own money. So it might be that somebody needs real help with managing their own budgets, or that they've never had a bank account before and they don't know how to manage that. Within the module, it will look at a set of challenges within that, and each of those will be evidenced. The evidence will be put together and it's moderated, and we have a team of people that are specialised in doing that. The whole ASDAN programme is run by our Group Educational Director, and she's on hand to offer training and support to all the teams that work in all of our homes. So far, we've had a 100% pass rate with all the people that have been entered for the certificates, and it sets us aside and alone as one of the very few facilities that have the ASDAN programme. So we're really, really proud of all the people that have achieved this so far. Physical health and well-being is something we've got a really particular focus on because, as you know, people with learning difficulties, mental health conditions and autism sometimes find it harder to stay healthy and stay physically well. For this reason, we have a group role whose specific job is to look after the physical health and well-being of all the people that live with us. So this group role actually advises our staff and the people that live with us on an individual basis. Within that, they would look after the rights of the person and make sure that the person was making the right choices. And that might be about food or about the exercise that they're taking on a daily basis. We make sure that when we are putting health plans in place, that they're not restrictive and that we are following DOL's procedure at all times and following the least restrictive process that we possibly can, while still identifying what we need to do to make this person as healthy as they can be. Because as we all know, if we're going to have a good life, we need to be healthy. In summary, what we're trying to do is create the exact right living environment for the person that is living with these difficulties. We've got true person-centred care, and progress is evidenced in a coherent way. We make use of the community as much as we can. Our focus is adaptive skills. So we're not just there doing things for people, we're there to make sure that people can do things for themselves so that they can live an independent life in the future. So what we're doing here is we're striving for the people that live with us to be the best that they possibly can be. But not only that, is we want them to achieve stability in being the best that they can be. And once they've achieved stability, we want to hang on to it. We want to hang on to it for the rest of their lives.